thank you everybody for being here. My name is Christina Ramirez, as Trinity mentioned, and I'm going to present to you two products today. The first one being the EmpowerFit certification and then a related product. And I'm going to use this presentation, so I'm going to look that way because that is where my screen is. So what we're actually doing is building confident, empowered, resilient children so that maybe if they grow up with confidence, they don't have to shoot up a school in order to feel important. So I'm very passionate about what I do because I have seen how our curriculum transforms children's lives. And I had a video for you, but the audio is not quite working, so I'm going to skip it. But that was a third grader that when he got to us, he was like, oh my God, this is so hard. I hate running and I can't do anything. And life is third grade, life is miserable. And by the time that he was done with us, he was very empowered. We teach them how to work with negative thoughts, how to incorporate confidence and growth mindset in everything that they do. So my name is Christina Ramirez. I'm a lot of things. I started my career on Wall Street. I went to Silicon Valley. When I had my kids, I became a preschool teacher. And then I became an entrepreneur. But I was the girl in the back of the gym smoking pot. I was not your athlete by any stretch of the imagination. But when I had my boys, I have two sons, they're 20 months apart. I wanted to be an active mom. And I couldn't even run around the block without gasping for air. So I ran a neighborhood 5K. And when I crossed that finish line, you would have thought that I won an Olympic gold medal by how I felt. It was like, really? Like I ran a 5K? Oh my God. And if I can do that, what else can I do? And that feeling, if I could bottle it up, like that's the new high. That's what I started chasing. And so I went from running, I started doing triathlons. I ended up doing 3 Ironman triathlons, and really fitness and running became my way of life. So when I quit my job, I went to my kids' school principal. They were in elementary school. And I said, hey, can I do a little running club after school here? And I'll donate a percentage of my profits back to the school. And she said, yes. And I said, great. And I started with about 20 kids and I took them to run a race. And you know what happened? Same darn thing. They came back with that feeling of like, oh my God, we just ran a race. So I realized that confidence comes from doing difficult things. And if I could recreate those challenges of running a race, but inside a program, then I would be able to build the child's confidence over and over again by repeating those challenges, but supporting them in being successful. And that's what EmpowerFit is a curriculum. It's all game-based, but it's designed to be challenging enough, but so that on the other side of it, kids can feel really empowered. Then and I'm committed, like I said, to spreading this to as many kids as possible. So what I did in 2018, I moved from Miami, Florida, where I started this, to Taos, New Mexico. So I started teaching other moms across the country to start a business where they would teach this curriculum in their communities. And it worked. And today we are in over 200 communities. So over 200 small businesses have been started. We are across 41 states, and we've coached well over 10,000 children. So all of that just makes me believe, okay, we really have something special here. But what I understood is that not everybody wants to start a business. And that is why the certification was born, from this desire to be able to spread the curriculum without necessarily having to work only with moms starting their businesses. So, the curriculum, these are the kinds of people that I think would be interested in getting certified as an EmpowerFit instructor. If you're a group fitness instructor and you want to offer something different to your community, a teacher who wants to have like more games that they can play in recess, a coach that needs some extra activities for their for their coaching practice, an aftercare program director who wants to do things for the kids, or even just a mom that wants to learn more about this stuff so that they can empower her own children. And so the certification, it includes Oh my goodness, my slides are going all over the place today. Okay, so it includes 14 lesson plans of tried, true, and tested games and activities. It includes unlimited email support, because I don't want to give this to you and then, not be able to answer your questions. So you'll have lifetime unlimited support by email so we can answer your questions. It includes an ebook that shows, that has everything that we talk about in the class. Tear sheets are like cheat sheets that you can print out and take to the field with you. And I'm going to show you what it looks like in the membership site in just a second. But it also includes a workshop training. Workshops are great. They're like 2 hours. They're standalone events. So they're like parents' night out. So parents, bring your kids, drop them off with me on a Friday night. I'm going to get them sweaty and stinky and empowered. You go on a date, come back and pick them up. That's very popular. Or drop and shop, especially around the holidays. Parents, drop off your kids, go do your holiday shopping, come back and pick them up in 3 hours. So it includes that training and also a virtual curriculum. Even though we do Run Club in Chicago in the winter outdoors, we do have a virtual curriculum as well. And the price for the EmpowerFit certification is $5.99. But I'm going to get off this presentation for 1 second, and I'm going to just show you. I believe you can still see my screen, and I can't see my screen. Okay, so you do not see my screen, or you do see my screen?
We see it.
Okay, you do see it. So this is the EmpowerFit certification. This is the member site. So when you purchase the certification, you go through this, and you'll see that it includes all the lesson plans. Every lesson plan has an overview of why the unit is important. We have 8 different units, and we work with everything from positive thinking to affirmations to community building to integrity. So it's very detailed. It has all the videos, and then each one has tear sheets. These are the things that you can print out and take with you to the field. And it tells you, what equipment you have to take, how to set it up. And don't forget to tell the kids this message. It really is plug and play so that you can go out there and start empowering the kids. Okay. And then I'm going to go back here. So that's the certification. And again, the price of that is $5.99. But in addition to the EmpowerFit certification, I wanted to tell you about, this is another video that you can't hear, but that's like a super cute kid. That's like, I'm working as hard as I can and I'm invincible. So the other product I wanted to show you is a book that I wrote. It's called Empowered by Discomfort. It's an Amazon bestseller. And what happened is that in December of 21, I lost my husband pretty suddenly to cancer. And that was the worst year of my life. After that, I'm a single mom now, a widow. And I kept sharing about my process on Facebook, and people kept telling me, like, oh, you should write a book. You should write a book. But I didn't want to write a book about me, and I didn't want to write a book about grief. So I said, okay, let me share the tools that I've been using to get through the worst year of my life. And it turns out it's the same darn tools that I've been using with the kids for years. So I created I wrote the book. It became a bestseller. And I started creating opportunities to share the message of EmpowerFit and of the book, but to adults. So I created, we have book sales. So we sell the book in bulk to companies or to people that want to empower their team. But we also have workshop trainings. So I'll go in and I'll work with a group of people in a very experiential game-based scenario, but teaching these principles of confidence. Everybody has challenges. Life happens. You can't avoid that, but you can and have absolute 100% control over what you do with those challenges that are presented to you. And we want to empower adults to think that way as well. So we have workshops. We also— Are you guys ready to play a little game? Virtual workshops. Sorry. Are you guys ready to play a little game? So
that's working. That audio is working.
No way, really?
Yeah, we hear that one.
Just making one of our advertisers happy.
This is one of the games we play online.
I see you, Zoe. Okay. I love it. You guys are in it to win it.
So whether they're online or whether they're in person, the trainings are not just like sit there and listen. They really get you moving, get you involved, because what you learn kinetically, you learn twice. You learn from doing it and you learn from understanding it. And then I also have what I call team lifts, is that for, let's say you're a sales director or you work in a company and you have a regular staff meeting, then I come in and for half an hour, I'll give you a keynote, but it's really packed to the punch, really impactful, really motivating. And we call those team lifts. And I know that I'm going fast, but I keep looking at the watch. But that is what I wanted to show with you to you. So we have the EmpowerFit certification and all the adjacent programs, which is the book and the training around the book. Any questions?
Awesome. Thank you, Christina. Yes, we are going to open it up for our question and answer session right now. So reporters, feel free to drop them in the chat or Q&A feature. I know, Allison, do you want to come unmute? You dropped a comment here in the chat.
Sorry, I was just going to say that I love your comment about, drop off the kids and get them stinky and tired and then have a good time. I was like, I need that for my young dog.
Yes, agreed.
You should do a dog version.
I've got two. I want that for my dogs too.
So can you give us some more wonderful stories about some of the kids who have learned some of the biggest lessons from you? Like, what have been some of the biggest turnarounds that have happened with kids who were couch potatoes? Or tell us some stories of some big juxtaposition.
Sure. I always tell this story because there was this kid who was the biggest pain in my behind, and his name was Tommy. And Tommy was like, I hate running. I'm only here because my mom made me, like great attitude. It was so much fun. And one time, this was maybe like a month in or 4 to 6 weeks in, and it was the end of the class. And I said, we're just going to do a relay race. So you just line up and whoever you race against, you go back and forth. It's not a big deal. It's just like a fun race game. And he's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm like, well, why, Tommy? He's like, because I always lose. I was like, yeah, you're right. You do always lose. And then he was shocked. He's like, well, and I was like, well, if you have that attitude, there's no way that you're going to win. And then I proceeded to give him the speech of a lifetime. I mean, I got that kid. He's like, yes, and you can do it. Yes, I can do it. And like, he was ready for it. And he goes and he lines up, and I do the math, and he's lined up against the fastest kid in the school. And I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? I'm not a therapist, like this poor kid, like I just completely, motivated him and told him he could do anything, and now he's going to lose. So I was like trying to prepare my speech of what I was going to tell him, what I was going to tell the parents of how I royally messed this up. And you know what happened? He won. And he didn't win because the other kid tripped. He won because he wanted it so badly. And he won because he just believed in himself so much. And then he went on, then we did a race, like a formal race, and he came second in his age group out of 2, but that's okay. But again, like he was just like, from then on, he was a winner in his mind. And there's this whole part of neurology that's like winners keep winning. It's momentum, momentum that comes from the winning, but also from your physiology. Every time you win, you release dopamine, which is a feel-good chemical, which says like, ooh, I want to do it again. I want to do it again. And so it becomes like this circle of positivity of like doing things and winning. And so we were able to get Tommy from like, I hate running. He was with me for about 3 years. And he became my assistant coach because he would get the younger kids and he's like, yeah, I know, I used to suck, but now I don't suck. And, and you've got to keep trying and blah, blah, blah. So that's one of my favorite stories of a kid.
Oh, that is fantastic. Yeah. I love that. A little bit of negative selling, right? To get someone to just go, what?
Yeah.
Some of the reporters who are here are of particular interest because Jennifer is here from Scattered Adventures, who is a very, very big YouTuber. And it's all about her family that are always going on the road and doing stuff. So Jennifer, I'm sure you could use this perhaps in one of your adventures to challenge your kids. And also another Jennifer is here, also from Real Mom of the San Fernando Valley, which is really great. So hopefully you guys will connect.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Christina, you mentioned that Tommy was in your program for quite a few years. How long does the certification process take?
So the certification is it's basically self-paced. So you get through it, and what it means is that now you'll be empowered and you'll know enough to be able to go and teach this curriculum to other people. And so that it will depend on you and how much time how long it takes. It's the content wise is about 35 to 40 hours, but is that sitting and watching a video. The best way to learn is just to run a workshop or get your kids and get the neighborhood kids and run a couple of games. And that's going to build your own confidence to be out there and to be able to implement this. But if 200 moms that have no idea of how to do any of this were able to start successful business. I have a mom who now makes over $1 million a year with Run Club. That is insane. Right. So if they're able to do it, somebody that's certified with the curriculum is able to go out there and teach their community.
That's wonderful. All right, we're going to hang on here for a couple more minutes and just wait for any more last minute questions to come through the chat here. Reporters' samples and press releases can be requested through our website, mediaandmerch.com. And we'll just hold on to see if there's last minute questions to come through. Christina, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Of course, it's my pleasure. Thank you. Yeah. And I have a lot of media experience. So if you want something that is not necessarily product related, but is mommy related, or how, tips to, I was telling you guys earlier, I was just on the New York City public television, morning television show talking about back to school and giving tips to parents to insert confidence in their kids going back to school. I'm happy to help with all of that if that's needed.
Wonderful. All right, well, I think that concludes our product session today. Thank you so much, Christina, for being here with us today. And reporters, thank you so much, and we'll see you at the next session.
Thank you so much, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.